Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really radical philosophy, one that puts the provocative idea of cruelty right at the heart of freedom, all through the eyes of a figure called the Wanderer.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start by figuring out what this philosophy actually means by cruelty. Then we'll explore who this wanderer is. After that, we'll get into the real cost of this freedom, what the ultimate goal is, and finally, we'll unpack the kind of legacy this hardness is supposed to leave behind.
Right out of the gate, the source material just hits you with this powerful image. It doesn't talk about cruelty as some kind of vice. No, it's bright armor, a brilliant, honest shield against what it calls the soft and rotting comforts of normal morality. What a way to start!
Okay, so let's dig into that idea of bright armor. What does this philosophy really mean by cruelty? Because trust me, it's probably not what you're thinking. See, this isn't about causing pain just for kicks. It's presented as a creative act, the cruelty of the artist. Think about a sculptor who has to destroy, to chip away at a block of stone to reveal the statue inside. It's a refining fire, something that has to burn down the old to make way for the new. And this is the key distinction. On one side, you have this purposeful destruction that's meant to create something. It's a great stimulant. On the other, you just have mindless rage, which, just breaks things. One is a tool for evolution. The other is just plain chaos.
This whole worldview even redefines evil. Here, evil is a tool with a very specific job. It's meant to be the spark that creates a truly free spirit. It's the great stimulant, pushing us past our comfortable, tepid limits. It's basically a school of hardness, a tough love program for the soul. So, if that's the tool, then who's the person that's supposed to wield it? Let's meet the figure who embodies this whole philosophy, the Wanderer. So who is this Wanderer? Well, they're defined by constant motion, an eternal nomad, a fugitive from the light. They reject any permanent home, and that doesn't just mean a house. It means rejecting fixed ideas of good and evil. They're not looking for a throne to rule from, they're looking for a path to walk.
Now, you might be thinking this sounds pretty empty, right? But here's a twist. This path isn't seen as nihilistic at all. It's a call to the open sea. It's about facing the great unknown, the void, and finding it beautiful and deep. It's a full-on embrace of uncertainty. But okay, let's be real. Living a life of radical freedom like that, it doesn't come cheap. So what's the actual price you have to pay to become the Wanderer? The text is brutally honest here. This kind of transformation is painful. It's not just a small change. It's the birth pang of a new perspective. It's like shedding your own skin, an agonizing process that only the absolute hardest souls can get through. And this isn't random. It's a deliberate journey, a three-step process. First, you have to turn that cruelty inward and be tough on your own fears and weaknesses. Then you have to shed your social mask, the face you put on for everyone else. And finally, you have to face the raw, unfiltered truth of the abyss. No more hiding. And here's where we get to a core paradox of this way of thinking. True vitality, being truly alive, isn't found in being comfortable and safe. Nope, it's found on the very edge, when the Wanderer is most alone and most endangered. So that brings us to the big question. What's the point of all this? Why go through all that pain and wandering? What's the ultimate goal here? Yeah, what's the end game? All this talk of pain, of wandering, of self-inflicted hardship, what exactly is being built from all that rubble? Well, the goal is nothing short of creating a whole new kind of human, a new wanderer, someone who is so completely self-reliant that they can navigate the world without needing a god or a master to guide them. And that's where cruelty comes back in, but as a surgical tool. It's the sharp instrument you use to cut away all the comforting illusions, the cataracts of faith, so you can finally see the world as it truly is, which is described as being both hollow and, surprisingly, beautiful. This metaphor of the ruined cathedral just says it all, doesn't it? All those big, established structures, religion, society, even your own beliefs, they're seen as towers. And the first lesson is that all those towers have to fall. Their ruin is necessary to clear a path, to make room for the road. So finally, what is the lasting impact this philosophy wants to have? What is this unholy anchor it wants to leave in the world? Well, the first part of its legacy is to make departure the new normal, to make the act of leaving, of moving on, the only constant in a meaningful life. The second part is even more radical. It wants to completely reframe our values. It wants to take this tough, creative, destructive force and call it the only grace. Not compassion, not kindness, cruelty. And what does that leave you with in the end? It gets rid of all absolute truths and all-powerful gods. In this world, the only truth is the moving shadow, and the only God is the step, the simple act of moving forward on the path. So that leaves us with a final, really provocative thought. If it's true that all our established towers have to fall to make room for the road forward, it kind of makes you ask yourself, which of my own towers, my deepest beliefs, my greatest comforts, would I be willing to sacrifice?